Welcome back to Dolor Factor Live. If you have a question for Mario, then you know how to send them by email, by Facebook, WhatsApp. You know how to contact us. Now, earlier on, I was talking about how do we marry the two from, prestige and the high performance ultimate vehicle to Suzuki's. I mean, how did that come about? How can you marry the two?
Oh, very easily. I mean, we were approached in 2008 to represent Suzuki, and we agreed to do it. And when we started receiving the first shipments of cars, quite a few people asked me the same thing. How are you going to represent Suzuki and you do BMW and Land Rover and Range Rover? I said quite simply, we are going to elevate the experience of ownership of a Suzuki to a prestige level. It's not about because it's a cheaper car, you treat people differently. And if you notice our service reception, Suzuki is right here, BMW is right there. I mean, it's not about discriminating. We have just elevated the level of service so that everybody feels they get a prestige feeling. And it's not that because it's a Suzuki or a Subaru, it's not the same.
Okay. Now, if someone actually came into the showroom and said, I want to test drive a vehicle because I'm not sure which one I want to, how do you deal with that?
No, it's very, very simple. I mean, you can't just come in and say you want to test drive a vehicle. If you were to come into the dealership, first of all, we would identify what your requirements are. I mean, it's no point me showing you a 2-seater convertible if you're in the market for a 7-seater family vehicle. Correct? So we would do our job from a sales perspective and identify your requirements. And once we do that, then we'll channel you into the direction of where you need to go and find a suitable vehicle for you.
Well, this actually leads really nicely to a question that our viewer has asked. Okay, customer service is vital to all companies. What makes Prestige different?
I think our staff, our team members actually care. Simple as that. They actually care. So because they care, I mean, we have customers from length and breadth of St. Lucia who have relationships with all our team members. They don't necessarily have to call me. You can call Cara, you can call Siobhan, you can call Timo, you can call Nana, you can call Glenroy, you can call Paulina. You can call any one of our team members. You can call Royden, and you will get a response in dealing with your whatever issue in a timely manner. And to me, that's what makes it different.
Are they trained specifically to do that?
Actually, I'll tell you something. I suspect we spend way too much money from a budgetary point of view on training. Our annual training budget is $250,000 because we have some of the very highest technicians working for us. And all these guys are trained overseas constantly. I mean, sometime last year, I remember asking one of the technicians, what, I mean, living in Jamaica or in Panama or something now? Because every month he was out.
What would you say to people who say that because you're spending all this money on the training, that is actually incurring costs at the end of the, when they buy their car or they want to maintain it?
Could I give you an example? I can answer that just with a simple example. Customer buys a Land Rover vehicle. The vehicle has been driving for 3 years perfectly fine. Actually 5 years. 186,000 kilometers on the clock, being serviced with us. Some genius decides, well, the car is 5 years old, I can save you money and I can do the service for you. So this genius goes and puts the incorrect specification oil in the engine. A week seized engine. You know how much for an engine? $69,000.
We'll buy another car with that.
So guess what? The moral of the story, had he paid the regular price for an oil change, he would have no expense. Now, he has a $69,000 bill if he wants to get the car back. That's because trying to save costs by not having trained people. You cannot be in the premium sector and not spend money on training.
Now, when you say premium sector, of course, that goes through
For
everything that you sell.
Everything that I sell. Now, our whole company philosophy is that you must train people if you expect them to produce a result. You cannot just take somebody and say, oh, you're a mechanic, so fine. We have specialized people in our workshop. I'll give you an example. Within BMW only, we have technicians that simply just do air conditioning, electronics, and mechanics. The guy who does mechanics is not going to go into electrics. It's that specialized. And the training that applies to all our products at this stage, a lot of stuff is online, and then we have the actual hands-on training. But if a guy does not go through training at least once in 6 months, he's out of the loop. He's no longer valid to do what he has to do. All our technicians have to be certified by the manufacturer.
Okay, now while you were talking to me, I don't know whether you saw a little smirk on my face. That's because I think that I've actually reached the target that I set for myself earlier when I said I want people to say that, you know, you're not arrogant at all. Because I've got someone here who says, I'm glad to see Mario. He's not arrogant at all. There is something nice about him. Oh, I have their details. I'm gonna. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I think that in life, when people, as we said before, people see you and they just make an assumption about you, you know. And as you said, the people who may say that you're arrogant haven't even spoken to you, but you come across as a very confident person, very confident, very comfortable. Has it always been that way?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I think has made me that way. Training to be a commercial pilot, there's no gray area. It's always an exact science to whatever you do. If I'm going to fly from here to Barbados and I'm going to fly at 17,000 feet, I'm not going to fly at 17,001 feet. I will not fly at 17,500. You understand? Because that'll be unsafe. I'm not going to fly at 300 knots when I'm supposed to be flying at 250. So my point being, everything is knots and ones. There's no gray area. And that's where people might misunderstand a little bit. Because if you come to me with a problem, I can find a solution. You don't need to come to me with a story.
Okay.
Come to me with the problem, I'll find you a solution.
Okay.
And perhaps the ones that may have found so is because they came with a story. You don't need to come with a story. I say to my biggest adversaries, if you have a problem, tell me what the problem is and I'll try to solve it. But don't come up with another agenda and try to waste my time, please.
So now you're doing that frown thing.
Exactly. So you see the problem.
Yeah, I can see. It's because you're passionate about what you're doing and you don't want any kind of frivolities. You want things to be, just call it, let's, you know, just be straight talk. That's what you want.
Yeah.
I can see that. Okay, okay, great stuff. Well, you know, we are actually going to be closing the entries for tonight's giveaway. So we're going to just allow you during the break to finally get your answers in. And actually, I think me telling you off has actually spurred you on to actually go into the Prestige Facebook page to see what's happening there. Not that you're going to get all the answers there. I don't know, but a couple or quite a few people have come since I've actually kind of told you guys off. So you've got maybe a couple of minutes to respond to our giveaways tonight. And when we come back, I'm going to be asking some more questions to Mario based on some of the things that you've asked me to ask. So, of course, you're watching DBS, of course, and this is Dolor Factor Live, so please stay with us.